What's up guys, this is Dr. Sashi from the KL Sky Clinic, and today I'm going to tell you what makes you fat, and I'm going to open this sentence with, well, it's not consumed fat. Surprised? Now I'm going to tell you the biggest cause of why your dieting might not be working very well, or your plans, your workout, it's not showing out in your scale. Alright, the first biggest mistake that people do is to not have a proper meal. That means you're cutting down. Calorie cutting is the number one way to actually lose weight, but then of course when you're calorie cutting, you must also make sure that what is actually making you feel full. At the same time, you don't feel guilty, or you don't feel like binge eating, or you don't feel like doing anything extreme. That means you are still in the discipline mode. There are a few food groups which can do this. Unfortunately, when you take dieting the wrong way, and these are the people who are doing it wrong, and most of the times, even myself, initially, 10 years ago probably, when I was making these same mistakes, I never lost anything. I could not see it on the scale. In fact, my body fat percentage stayed at the same 33, I think around 33%. Okay, it didn't want to go down as much as what I do, cardio, workout, all those, it didn't go down. But one thing that I realized that I did was, I did not take enough fats in my food. And Malaysians, if you ask them, the first thing that they will blame, you guys will blame, is normally, doctor, I eat a lot of fats. Well, I'm here to bust that myth, alright? The first thing that you all do normally is not eat fats. Thinking that fats make you fat. Thinking that fats make you fat. Well, let me tell you that fats don't make you fat, alright? In fact, if you look at Malaysian food, did one, there's a website where you can go and see and calculate all your calories and all those, and just say, I'm going to take a few things that you all normally eat, not diet food. So we just take nasi lemak. If you take nasi lemak, it's carb 60%, protein 9%, and fat around 30 something percent. Sorry, 20 something percent, 27%, 23%. Unless it's fiber or something like that. Alright, so when you see this is the biggest problem, but you always blame this. And in fact, one of the good fats are coconut fats and coconut oil and all those. And most of the time, santan, nasi lemak, good fats. Don't blame. The bad fats, I'll tell you later. Saturated fats are not that all bad all the time. Alright. Trans fats, yes. Alright. Next one. Favorite food, nasi ayam, people's favorite food lah. 45% carbs. Again, take a look at the fat percentage is at around 24%, and protein is around 30%. Again, the kingmaker here, this. Third one, people always say, I'm dieting, I want to eat mee-hoon today. That is the biggest mistake. And it's at 66%. You have to know that bihun is made out of rice. It's just rice flour. So anything made into flour, it's basically going to spike up your insulin levels. Oh, I'm talking about insulin now. Okay, spike up your insulin levels as fast as possible and make it drop as fast as possible as well. So it's not something which is going to give you an expanded energy. Alright? And when you look at fat, 13%, and protein, 20%. Again, Malaysians, you don't eat enough fat lah. Okay? The myth that you've been telling yourself that you have been eating a lot of fat is wrong. You don't eat enough fats. Alright? So now this is part 2, and this is the part where the most mistakes are made. You guys, you don't want to eat rice, saying rice is making you fat lah, and all those. And this is where you will ganti this rice. You will replace it with, you'll probably eat fruits. Some of you just eat salad. This is a better option. It's good, quite a good option. There's a lot of fiber in it. But then something that you all normally don't add into salads is enough protein. Okay, if you have enough proteins in the form of eggs, fish, meat, yes, this is going to keep you full for a longer time. Alright, but the problem is, people, if you replace it with salads, that's good. But then if you are replacing your diet with fruits, just say for lunch you don't eat a good meal, you want to have fruits, you're going to have bread. This is the biggest thing that I hear until today. When I ask them, who told you bread is better than rice? My friend told me. Well, now you know your friend is always wrong. Your friend heard from another friend. So, absolutely wrong idea, guys. Anything which is going to spike up your insulin, just say anything flour based, is an absolute no. In fact, your rice is superior anytime because it got enough fiber and there's some protein, very minute levels, and this is considered a complex carb depending on the type of rice you take as well. Brown rice, the difference is that it's got more fiber. Okay, so the first biggest mistake you will do is to basically eat fruits instead of rice or proper meal. If you're taking a salad, go ahead, no problem. Enough proteins, enough fiber, enough fats. Yes. If you're taking fruits, for instance, we wrote this one. You're taking, just say watermelon. And the other bigger mistakes that people are doing is to have fruits before or after meal. Alright? Watermelon, carb, 100%. Okay lah, could be around 90 something lah, around 97% lah. 97%, around 3% fiber. Banana actually has a little percentage of protein. It's around 96% carb. You have to understand that this carb is sugar. Okay, so why am I talking so much about sugar? We will get to this point. This is the final point of this whole topic. What makes you fat? Alright, banana, mango, no need to say, 100% carbohydrate, sugar. Most of your tropical fruits are basically the same. Alright, they contain a lot of sugar and very little or almost no protein at all. So if you have been doing this and you're thinking like, how come I'm getting this pain after eating fruits at night? So if you guys have been replacing your food with fruits and all those, and then for most of you who have been taking fruits at night, this is the worst thing. You're going to go to bed, you have given your body enough glucose to spike up your insulin levels, which makes you feel like you're having gastritis. When you wake up in the morning, you feel like, oh my god, this is so painful, I need to eat something right now. I will have gastric if I don't eat. Well, most of the times, at any point of the day, if you're having a very sharp pain in your stomach and saying that it's because of the spike in sugar, it's basically, yep, it's that. So for those of you who have been replacing your meals with fruits, guys, I've got bad news. You're going to increase your glycemic index way high. So what happens is, you're taking fruits, it's going to bring up your insulin very high, especially at night. You're going to go to bed. This is the bad time. Your liver is going to go into overdrive and it's going to make more fats to be stored in your body. Alright, simple, because fat stored can be used for energy later, and glucose basically is a toxin for your body. So it cannot keep lingering toxin in your body for far too long. So what happens is, it will change it to become fats to be kept in your body. Alright, and one more thing is, if you do not need that amount of sugar in your body, that means your muscles do not require that much of sugar, it's going to be stored as fat. So it would not be lingering in your body as glucose because it's toxic, as I said. And in the long run, this is what happens. You will become insulin resistant. which is basically your type 2 diabetes mellitus. Now, today's topic is not about diabetes mellitus, but then let me tell you that insulin resistance is what is type 2 diabetes. And the precursor is this. To see if you are in insulin resistance is the whole topic of today. Right? Alright, so now we are at the point where you are sick and tired. You are not seeing the results. You're working out, but then you don't know what's going on. Your scale's not moving. The initial part, this is the part 3. And I just told you about insulin resistance. How do I check if I'm insulin resistant or not? So this is a simple thing. It's a very simple test. Normally what people do is they go and do a fasting blood sugar, which is, simply you could do it at home with the device, you could do it at a pharmacy with the device, very simple, you could do it at any clinics. But it's not a measure which is accurate to show if you are in insulin resistance or not. If your fasting blood sugar is somewhere around 5.4 and above, I would say that even before you go into doing the test for insulin resistance, this is already an alarm already. Alright? So for those of you who are having blood sugar less than 5.4, 5.6, and you think that, oh, my blood sugar is around 4.7, very good, 4.6, okay, 5.0, okay, no problem. But let me tell you, there's a few things that this does not also mean that you are not insulin resistant. Alright? So what you do is, it's a test, it's a simple test, where you do a fasting blood sugar, which is a simple blood sugar. You can do this now, as I told you. Alright? The simple one, where you can do in the clinic or pharmacy or whatever. But then there's another thing called fasting insulin level. Now, not many people will do fasting insulin or insulin levels at all. Most of the times what they will do is, they will do a HbA1c, which is a glycated hemoglobin, to see the sensitivity of a certain type of spike in hemoglobin protein, which is sensitive towards the change in your sugar levels in your body. And this is actually one of the things which is used to determine whether you are diabetic, pre-diabetic, or normal. Alright? But to see insulin resistance, we are not going to use this. Alright? So some of you might not even have a problem with HbA1c. Most of the times, if you are not diabetic or pre-diabetic, there's no point. If you're young, you're trying to lose weight, you're quite healthy, there's no point. You can do it, but then it's not going to determine if you are in insulin resistance or not. Alright? So to see insulin resistance, you're going to do a fasting blood sugar, and then you do a fasting insulin level. Alright? Serum insulin. So you take both of this times this, and then you divide by 22.5, and then you will get a reading. So 3 things. Alright? If it's 2.6 and below, you're normal. Okay? If you're 2.6 to 3.8, this is borderline. If you're above 3.8, the score, you're in danger. You're in insulin resistance. This is the golden number. Even if you're somewhere around 3.6 to 3.8, I would say that you're easily going towards insulin resistance. Now this is a very simple test that you can do at any clinic, and you can call it, it's actually called HOMA score. Alright, next time you want to go and do a blood test, make sure you get your fasting insulin levels inside as well. And even if the doctor doesn't do it for you, you can do it by yourself. Take this times this, divide by 22.5, this is your scale. Alright, 2.6, okay, 2.6, 3.8, still okay. Somewhere around 3.6 to 3.8, you're going towards insulin resistance. You are going to be collecting more fat than burning it. So this is the reason why you might not be losing weight or losing. In fact, when you talk about losing weight, it's basically the fat that we want to lose. We don't want to lose muscle. We don't want to lose water. And of course, we cannot lose bone mass. This is pathological. So, fat. If you're not in fat burning mode, you are in fat collecting mode. That's it. There's only 2 modes. Either you're fat burning or you're fat collecting. Either you're using fat as energy or you are collecting fat. So these two things. So in terms of food, I've already told you that just now. That is the reason why you are not able to lose weight. Alright, this is the end of part 3. So we're now at the final part of this video, and this is the part where I explain to you about the wrong perception, the misconceptions about fat. Where people think fat makes you fat. In fact, fat doesn't make you fat. Alright, as simple as that. Fats do not give you insulin spike. In fact, today's video is not about keto diet, but then that's how keto diet actually works, because those people who are in keto diet go through ketosis. That's a whole different thing, but then they go through a phase where they do not have insulin spike at all. So they're giving their liver and their pancreas a break, basically. So you're going into using fats as a fuel. Okay, not to talk too much about keto, I'm not talking about keto. Alright, so the other thing is fats improve your immune system. Fats help you intake fat soluble vitamins. There are two types of vitamins, two groups, fat soluble and water soluble. So your B's and your C's are water, your A, D, E and K are fat soluble vitamins. So fat soluble vitamins are not easily lost from the body, but also to absorb them is pretty difficult. So it's a win-win situation lah. Once you have them, they are quite hard to lose, but to get them into your body is pretty difficult as well, if you do not have enough fat in your diets. Alright, and what are the misconceptions? And one more thing is that something which is called your second brain, your small intestine, and the microflora, or the good bacteria which live in your stomach, they thrive on fats, and this is also called as your second brain. Recently they found that there are neurons in other parts of your organs, so not only in your brain. So one of the other parts where they found to have good amount of neurons is your small intestine. Alright, and the first thing that you can do is to remove this taboo about fats. Alright guys, I hope you have enjoyed today's show, and I hope it was informative. If there's any questions, just drop it in the comment section. Soon we'll be talking about intermittent fasting. Alright, next video. See you guys. Ciao.